The decline in coal is being blamed for another big job loss in southeastern Kentucky. How many people are now looking for new jobs ahead?
Family members of a missing Nelson County mother say they have ended their daily searches for her.
The South African Olympic and Paralympic athlete known as the Blade Runner has been released from prison under house arrest. Details ahead.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 4:30.
Good afternoon. Sam, Dick, and Amber Philpott reporting it is a tough hit to take. Nearly 200 people are losing their jobs in a southern Kentucky town.
CSX Railroad announced today that 180 employees of their mechanical shops in Corbin will be let go. They say it's the result of less demand for coal. WKYT's Phil Pendleton is in Corbin with reaction. It's our top story at 4:30.
Corbin has a rich history that centers on the railroad, and this announcement this morning has really hit this community hard. CSX Railroad announcing today that it is closing its car and locomotive shops and locomotive service center because of reduced demand for equipment, maintenance, and inspections as a result of a decline in coal traffic in the region. Local economic development officials say the jobs lost are good, high-paying jobs, and they'll be hard to replace.
Yes, they are very high-paying jobs. You know, anywhere in the $50,000, $60,000, as I understand. So maybe some even more than that. But because we did not have total details of all the jobs affected, but we know these were for some very prime jobs that are in our community.
And workers are receiving 60-day pay and benefits, and I'm also told by the company spokesperson that they will be looking for opportunities in higher demand areas for those employees. Much more on what this announcement means to this small town at 5:30. But for now, in Corbin, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
The announcement followed a similar job reduction announcement at a CSX facility in Tennessee that employed more than 200 people. We now know the names of 5 victims who died in an early morning house fire in Maysville today. The fire chief says Lori Doppelhuer, 3 of her children, and a neighbor, Larry Brickles, were killed in a fire that burned 2 row houses that had been turned into apartments on West 2nd Street. It happened just after midnight. Maysville Fire Chief Kevin Doyle says a neighbor who was awakened as the fire spread says that Doppelhuer went back inside to try and save her children. Arson investigators were on scene today trying to figure out the cause of that fire. They have not determined an exact cause, but they do believe it is accidental. We'll have a report live from the scene on WKYT News at 5.
A home was destroyed in an early morning fire in Jessamine County. The fire started around 4 this morning on Sulphur Well Road south of Nicholasville. Firefighters say the home is a total loss. The owner was not home when the fire started. The fire chief says there were not any hydrants next to the home, but his crews were able to quickly get water to the scene.
We're having to shuttle water in. We do have hydrants that are right down the road, but instead of laying a big long line of hose, we're tanker shuttling.
The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
Months after a Kentucky mother disappeared, new details are emerging about the case. Crystal Rogers hasn't been seen since July. Her boyfriend, Brooks Houck, has now been identified as a suspect, and his brother, a Bardstown police officer, was fired for interfering in the investigation. Today, WKYT obtained video of Houck when he sat down with detectives for about 2 hours in an emotional interview. During that interview, Houck's brother, Nick, is accused of calling him. A week later, Nick was questioned by detectives about that phone call and about reports that neighbors saw him taking something out of his cruiser.
A couple spots in your trunk and that blanket, I mean, just lit up like Chernobyl. Why would that?
There's not going to be any blood in the trunk.
Okay, well, I did not say blood. I'm talking about other bodily fluids.
Officer Houck goes on to say that his brother is not capable of doing what he's accused of. Meanwhile, Rogers' family is scaling back their efforts to find the missing mother. We'll have more on this story ahead on WKYT News at 6.
Yesterday, we told you the federal government released a number of requirements aimed at making the skies safer from potential drone accidents. Today, a University of Kentucky student was in court for a drone crash at Commonwealth Stadium. Peyton Wilson entered a not guilty plea. Wilson's attorney says he has cooperated fully with UK's police investigation and does not believe a charge is warranted, especially since there are currently no FAA rules on drones. Wilson's attorney also said the FAA did contact them about the case and they're looking into it. The case has been waived to a formal arraignment, and Wilson will be back in court at the end of the month. We'll have more from court on this case coming up on WKYT News at 5:30. Another pleasant fall day in the bluegrass, plenty of sunshine and really pretty warm out there.
Yeah, and this trend is expected to continue through most of our work week. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
I aim to please, guys. Absolutely beautiful out there. I have to take a little credit for some of the good stuff from time to time. We get all the credit for the bad stuff after all. Temperatures right now into the upper 60s into most of central and eastern Kentucky. That pleasant fall sky continues with nothing going on. Maybe a little high cloud cover over the next few hours trying to get into parts of western Kentucky. That's a sign of things to come over the next several days. But a quick look outside at some of those live sky cams. Beautiful skies here at the station on Winchester Road. Can't find a cloud in the sky, and the big blue sky over top of us. Heading out this evening, mainly clear skies. We go from 64 at 7 o'clock into the low 50s by 11. So if you're heading to the big Taylor Swift concert at Rupp Arena, it's going to be a cool evening. It's not going to be nearly as cold, though, as where we've been over the past several days. Guys, when I come back in a few minutes, everything has a shelf life, right? And that includes the nice weather that we're seeing. We'll tell you when the expiration date is when I come back in a few minutes.
Chris, thank you. Paralympic champion Oscar Pistorius is out of prison after serving less than a year of his 5-year manslaughter sentence for killing his girlfriend.
Authorities in South Africa secretly whisked him out of jail last night. Deborah Patta reports from Pretoria.
There was no sign of Oscar Pistorius, but family spokeswoman Annalisa Burgess came outside to speak to the media.
Oscar's sentence hasn't been shortened or reduced. He's simply entering the next phase of his sentence now.
Pistorius' trial was an emotional roller coaster where he constantly broke down retching. He shot his model girlfriend, Reva Steenkamp, 4 times behind a locked bathroom door, saying he thought she was an intruder.
I did not fire at Reva.
The court accepted this and found him guilty of manslaughter, not murder, sentencing him to 5 years behind bars. There were no gang-ridden cell blocks for Pistorius during his jail term. He was even filmed playing football on one occasion. Now he will leave his uncle's luxury mansion to report daily to a police station.
He will be under house arrest, which is a form of detention where his movements will be monitored.
The Steenkamps opposed his early release, saying a year behind bars was simply not enough of a punishment. But Pistorius faces another hurdle. The prosecution is appealing his conviction. They want it changed to murder, and if they're successful, Pistorius could find himself back in jail before the end of the year. Deborah Patta, CBS News, Pretoria, South Africa.
Now, legal experts say the athlete known as the Blade Runner for his prosthetic legs will be able to get a job if he wants one while under house arrest.
The Anderson County Sheriff will make his game show debut tonight. Sheriff Troy Young, his wife, and his 3 sons will be one of the families on tonight's episode of Family Feud. Young says of the 20 families that made it past rounds of interviews and auditions, they were one of only 5 that were actually recorded. You can see how the Young family does when the show airs tonight at 7 on the CW Lexington.